Hello everyone, this is Chris from Midwest Coaster Fans bringing you an update concerning this matter with the Six Flags Cedar Fair buyout slash merger, the possible rumor that was in place the last couple days. It started on Wednesday with Reuters. If you follow our content on Facebook, you would have definitely saw that I had a video that came out on Wednesday that explained it. And then yesterday I explained that, just like many other channels probably did, that them two merging together would not be beneficial for the market. So I didn't think that the deal was going to happen. It would create a monopoly, forcing a lot of stress into a lot of the smaller parks, and then SeaWorld would be forced into possibly a corner as well, even though they're doing a lot of investment on their own end. I don't think, and Cedar Fair came out publicly this morning and said they weren't interested in selling the company, which makes sense. They just bought Slitterbond. And Slitterbond, I think, was a $1.3 billion investment. Cedar Fair itself is worth a lot more. I mean, not by a huge margin, but it's worth more than Six Flags that owns 24 parks. And they are also worth more money than SeaWorld Entertainment that owns 11 parks and water parks such as themselves. Now, Six Flags a couple years ago tried to do the same thing with SeaWorld Entertainment. That deal never went through. The problem that Six Flags is having is that it's battling a lot of debt issues right now. As Taylor from Coaster Studios stated on his response video yesterday, Six Flags is in more debt now than what they were when they went bankrupt in the 2000s. According to this article, they owe $668 million on a loan that's due in 2026. That's only one part of the loan. From what I understand, they own $2.7 billion in debt, from what I've been told. Don't know how true or how much it might be off by, but I know it is a couple $1 billion that they are in debt. Cedar Fair, on the other hand, invested in Orion $35 million, or mid-30s, was what the ride is going to cost to build. They also did heavy investments in all the rest of their parks. They also bought out Slitterbond. Six Flags, on the other hand, we're supposed to have an amusement park that was supposed to happen in Dubai. That fell through. Saudi Arabia, we don't know for certain if that's going to go through, but that's just a licensing agreement. Same thing with Dorney Park, or believe Dorney Park, according to what I read up on, was just an operations agreement. They put the Six Flags logo on there. They help operate the park, but the park maintains most of its money and income. It gives the park a little more visitors because it's kind of in the chain. But if you look at what they invested in, they only invested in, Jersey Devil looks like a great coaster, but you're looking at maybe maximum, maybe $11, $12 million investment. Because if you look at the two prototype models, as I stated before, they only cost $7 million. Those Raptor models are designed for budget parks or budget companies such as Six Flags has been in the last couple of years. The investments that they made last year, you had Max Force and West Coast Racers. And if I'm missing any, let me know. But West Coast Racers still has not opened yet. And I think some people blame it on the companies, but I think a lot of the delays might have to do with the fact that Six Flags has to secure the rest of the financing to finance the rest of the project. So what that is, their financial situation is pretty scary at this point. So breathe a sigh of relief that this didn't go through, and it never will probably go through. If anything, if Six Flags ends up folding under again, you're going to have an issue, and Cedar Fair might buy out a couple of the small parks, but a merger with these two companies is never going to happen. And like I stated before, I went to Six Flags Great America this year, and the member services area was out of drinks. The food stands were out of food sometimes. Horrible operations. The rides were great, but when you have bad operations, that kind of destroys what you look forward to going into a park for. So with that being said, Like I stated in the other videos, I'm glad this deal didn't go through. It would have created a monopoly. You would have been looking at a merger with 34 parks. So I correct myself. Six Flags has 23 parks. Cedar Fair 11. But like I stated yesterday in the live video, Cedar Fair has a lot of parks. Their top 4 parks are above 3 million in attendance. Six Flags has 2 parks like that. So I think Cedar Fair is going to continue investment in the resort type of direction that they've been going towards with their bigger parks, such as Kings Island, Canada's Wonderland, Cedar Point, Knott's Berry Farms, and then Carowinds is kind of an investment. So I think Cedar Fair continues down that track. I think they continue to invest in things of that nature. Six Flags has to figure out a way to get a CEO, and fix this debt crisis that they're in, because if it continues and they can't figure out a way to make huge profits, then they're going to have to look at restructuring their company again. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. I appreciate you listening in on my opinion and factual information today. Please subscribe to our page and channel for future content for Midwest Coaster fans that will be dropping down. Right now, I'm working on an Orion update, so look for that video to drop later this afternoon. This is Chris, signing off from Midwest Coaster fans. Until next time.